Welcome everyone to our mathematics series. Today we are treating bearing based on the JSCE syllabus. This topic deals with measurement of points on the Earth's surface based on some rules in mathematics. First, let's treat types of bearing. Any given bearing angle is represented in two ways, namely compass bearing, that is cardinal points, and the other one is a three-digit bearing. First, let us treat a compass bearing, that is cardinal points. This concept is based on cardinal points, as can be obtained in any standard compass, such as shown below. Observing the two diagrams that we have there, from diagram 1, the starting points are based on north and south, which are measured to either east or west. You will agree with us that from north to east or north to west, we can only cover 0 degree to 90 degree. The same applies to south to east and south to west, as indicated in the second diagram. Next, we have some examples of compass bearing and their diagrammatic representative. First one is north 30 degree east. Then secondly, we have north 15 degree west. And the third diagram, we have south 50 degree east. And the fourth diagram shows south 55 degree west. If you look at I, the first example, is 30 degrees northeast. So the arrow starts from north, pointing to east. 2 is 15 degrees northwest. The arrow starts from north, pointing towards west. 3 is 50 degrees southeast. So the arrow starts from south, pointing towards east. 4 is 55 degrees southwest. The arrow starts from south, pointing towards west. Next, we treat three-digit bearing. This type of bearing bases its starting point from the north only, then moves clockwise direction. The movement is between 0 degree and 360 degrees. Some examples of three-digit bearing. We have 1, 0, 10 degrees, 2, 0, 80 degrees, 150 degrees, 4, 250 degrees, 5, 320 degrees. Now, if you look at the first example, 0, 10 degree, the arrow starts from the north, which is our point of reference. Then it starts pointing downwards, clockwise, 10 degrees. And when you look at example 2, the arrow still starts from north, which is our point of reference, and then it goes clockwise, 80 degrees, showing 80 degrees. Similarly, for example 3, from north, which is the starting point, the arrow points towards 150 degrees. In the case of example 4, which is 250 degrees, the arrow starts from north and points above 180, going to 250 degrees. In the case of example 5, which is 320 degrees, the arrow starts from north and points towards a point of 360 degrees. But what you have there is 320. In essence, ability to locate where the arrow is based on the diagram given below. Now, when you look at the reference diagram, the starting point, which is the north, represents 2 points, 0 degree and 360 degree. And the starting point of the reference diagram from the north, you start from 0 degree, then you go to 90, then 180, then 270, then at the ending point of it is 360 degree from where you started. Hence, our diagram 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we are drawn using the idea of this reference diagram. You cannot be drawing diagram 4, which is 250 degrees, and your diagram will now stop at a point where it indicates 180. It will be very wrong. So take note, this reference diagram is our guide in three-digit bearing. And you cannot draw like the first diagram, which is 10 degrees, and you are starting from north. You now place it, your arrow and your line at a place above 180 degree. That is totally wrong. Even though it is a sketch, it must be a reasonable sketch. Please take note of that. Next, we treat relationship between three-digit and compass bearing. Please note that any three-digit bearing can be converted to a compass bearing and vice versa. Let's take some examples. A. Convert the following three-digit bearing to compass bearing. I, 0, 30 degrees. I, 130 degrees. I, which is 300 degrees. From our first example, here we have that is 0, 30 degrees. I remember in drawing the diagram, it starts from north, the arrow start pointing downwards. And in this case, we have 30 degrees, which is not up to 90. Even though we are sketching, it should be within that range. Then converting to compass bearing, your diagram that represented there is the same as 30 degrees northeast, which is represented there. The arrow will still be pointing downward from north to east. The second example, we have 130 degrees 3-digit bearing. And in drawing that, from our 3-digit bearing diagram, the arrow will start from north, pointing downwards. But it must not reach 180 degrees, but it's above 90 degrees. Hence, it is represented there. Whereas representing it in compass bearing, we will have 50 degrees southeast. That is where the line is ably noted. Lastly, the next example is 300 degrees 3-digit bearing. I represented that the arrow start from the north, going it must pass 90, pass 180, pass 270, pointing towards 360, but it must not reach 360. Hence the representation. Whereas this very line there is represented on the compass bearing as north 60 degree west, because the line is of our concern there. Let's treat another example on converting compass bearing to 3-digit bearing. The first example there, which is north 65 degree, that's 65 degree northeast. We are converting this compass bearing to 3-digit bearing. Our diagram starts from the north and start pointing towards the east. But when converting to 3-digit bearing, it becomes 065 degree, merely represented without showing the cardinal point. Then when you look at diagram 2, which is 40 degrees southwest, now the arrow will start pointing from south towards west and showing 40 degrees, which is that arc in the cardinal point representation. But when you convert to 3-digit bearing, it's 220 degrees, because what we have just done is we are adding 40 plus 180 degrees. Let's take more examples. Find the angle measured clockwise between the following direction, northwest and east. Solution. The question wants us to apply our knowledge of cardinal points here. Yes, if you look at the diagram, you will see that the compass bearing here, which is what the northwest and east, the arrow start from northwest, then end at east, which is what the question wants us to get. But you know, from northwest to north, point north, you have 45 degrees. And from north to east is 90 degrees. So once that is added, you have the required value there, which is 90 degree plus 45 degree equals to 135 degree. Another example. Find the angle made in turning clockwise from the southwest to the east direction. The options are given. Solution. Applying our knowledge of cardinal point, we draw the diagram as. Now, when you look at the representation there, based on our cardinal point, it starts from southwest and the arrow ended at east. And the result is from southwest to west is 45 degrees. And from west to north pole is 90 degrees. From north pole to east is 90 degrees. Summing up these values, we have 45 plus 90, which is equals to 225 degrees. Another example. Find the angle turning anticlockwise from the northwest direction to southwest direction. The options are given. Solution. Applying our knowledge of cardinal point, we have the diagram as represented below. Now, from our knowledge of cardinal point representation, we are told that the angle should be measuring from, that is in anticlockwise direction, from northwest going to southwest. And if you take note of what we have there, from northwest to west is 45 degrees, and from west to southwest is 45 degrees. So adding up these angles, you have 45 plus 45, which is equals to 90 degrees. We've come to the end of the examples under this topic. Next, we have some exercises. Please try your hands on the exercises. This teaching was taken from our book, Hidden Facts in JSCE Mathematics, from page 226 to 228. The books are available in the bookshop, the hard copy. If you're interested in the soft copy, it's available in our website with the address displayed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you.